If I go out to play golf, it's a really good idea when I'm trying to hit the ball, if I keep my eye on the ball. It'll go a lot further if I do that. I'm not very good at that. Now, if I'm playing softball or baseball and I want to hit a home run or a line drive, if I'm standing there with my bat, I better keep my eye on that ball as it whizzes across the plate. And if I want to be a real Sharpie and I want to catch that run, that touchdown pass, then when that ball is coming at me, I better keep my eye on that ball so that I can grab it, I can turn around, and I can run for that touchdown. That's not going to happen. However, if I'm playing basketball and I want to hit that three-point shot, better keep my eye on the rim. There's something about keeping focused about what's important. You know, they tell young people, and probably some of us that aren't so young, if we really want to achieve, what we really need to do is to set goals. Set a goal. And then whatever it is you need to do to reach that goal, you work at it. But the important thing is to keep your eye on that goal. Keep your eye on what's important. And friends, for us today, what's important is keeping our eyes on Jesus. A couple of years ago, really had that brought home to us in a big way at our house. And Jesus did that for me. You see, I do devotionals every day, and one morning I woke up and my devotional was from Matthew 14:22 through 31. And it was about the disciples in the storm, and it's about Jesus walking on the water. It said, immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up to the mountaintop by himself to pray. Good thing to do. When evening came, he was there alone, but the boat was already a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves, because the wind was against it. So during the first watch of the night, Jesus went out to them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. Peter said, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. Come on, he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, taking eyes on Jesus, he cried out, Lord, save me! And immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You of little faith, why did you doubt? So there we got that story about the storm and Jesus with them in the midst of the storm. And then about 3 or 4 days later, the devotional was from Mark 4:35 through 41. And this time Jesus calms the storm. Disciples are in the storm, out in this boat. Jesus is with them this time. They're scared to death. They have no control. So they go to Jesus and they wake him up and they said, Lord, don't you care if we drown? And Jesus said, why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? Got that storm, Jesus with them. A few days later, another devotional. This time from Mark 6:47 through 52. Jesus walking on the water. And they're scared. They're frightened. And Jesus said to them, take courage. It's I. Don't be afraid. Wouldn't you think that'd be enough? But you know, a few days later, there's another devotional. And it's from Luke 8:22 through 25. And it's Jesus calming the storm. They're afraid once again. They're going to drown. They're scared to death. They're in this boat, in the midst of this storm. And Jesus says, where is your faith? I'm beginning to wonder. A few days later, from John 6:16 through 21, Jesus walks on the water. And Jesus says again, it's I. Don't be afraid. That's a lot of storms. And so I'm beginning to think, And do you know, friends, a week later, we found out what our storm was. Because, you see, our daughter was diagnosed with cancer. But Jesus had already assured us that he was with us in that storm. Those kind of storms are not pleasant. that you hurt for the people that are hurting. You feel you can't do anything. Everything is out of control. Life is like that now. We're in a storm, and we don't have any control, and we don't know when we're going to get that boat to the other side. We don't know those things. But friends, Jesus has told us, he has promised us, don't be afraid, it's I'm with you. Keep your eyes on me. Well, Dawn got through that storm. Praise God. And God's going to get us through this storm too. But we got to stay focused. We got to keep our eyes on the ball. We got to keep our eyes on what's important, and that's Jesus. Have a blessed day, friends.